Well, good morning. How are you all today? And welcome to Integrated Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. Have you ever felt like you're not making the progress you want to in preparedness? That's what I want to talk about today. Some of the reasons that preppers fail, and uh, and I've seen this over the years. I've been at this a long time, and I've seen a lot of people start, and a lot of people stop, and a lot of people stumble. I've seen a lot of people succeed. And I've seen a lot of people just continue to build and build and build on their preparedness foundation until they get to what we call total preparedness. A lot of people think that can't be reached, but it can. And the reasons that a lot of people fall short is because of some things that happen to them in the process, and that's what I want to talk about. I jotted down a few things that might help you, might point out some of the things that I've seen over the years. Before we get to that, I've got to share this with you. Those of you, yesterday I announced it, and this is, well, I'll just show it to you. It's the new mug in our mug collection. The only commie idea that liberals hate, crossed AKs. And this just came out beautifully, this mug. You can see the 360 there, okay? And I tell you, I got up this morning and this was just put up available on the website yesterday, I guess, or late the night before. And this is already our biggest seller. The orders are just exploding. What a way to take the message out there, right, to the world. And I just had somebody order a bunch of these. And I said it the other day. I says, buy one for yourself, buy a couple so that you and a friend can drink out of them, and or buy a bunch of them. We had one person make a suggestion: buy a bunch of them and take them over to your local gun range and give them away as a part of a voter registration, something like it. Anyway, I just had somebody buy a bunch of these, and I know they're going to hand them out to all of their friends, or who knows what. I don't know what. I'm sure there's a lot of uses you can make of it, but these are now available. They're on the website now. You can order them on the website stonemont.us, and there it is again. It's just they just came out beautifully. I love it. What a way to take the message, right? A double message, right? Let me take a sip out of this and then we'll get started. Okay, why preppers fail. Now, if you've been with me for a while, you know that I don't particularly like the term prepper. I use the term PMP for preparedness-minded person or preparedness-minded people. Okay, but I know that the term prepper is it's the most widely used in the field. But the thing is, I would say that very few PMPs fail because they are preparedness minded. And a lot of preppers fail because they're not. They're prepper minded, not preparedness. What's the difference, Steve? What are you talking about? Well, let me explain. Okay. I've jotted down just a few things in my list here so that I wouldn't forget them. This is by no means an all-inclusive list. I bet if I sat down and really tried, I could write pages and pages on this. Maybe I will sometime. I don't know. People have been asking me to write a complete book on preparedness. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm still writing. I'm working on book number 7 in the Stonemont series. So I have other things ahead of that. But if I wanted to write a book on preparedness, I think I'd put a whole chapter on why a lot of preppers fail. And I'll tell you this right now, too. We have a lot of people on the channel here, and especially over on the Patreon channel, who are very, very successful preparedness-minded people. And they will have more things to share, I'm sure, more advice, more observations than I'm going to be covering here. So read those, read the comments here. But if you're not with us on Patreon, we have so many more resources over there. Come over there. That link's down below. It costs you $1 a month, which is nothing. And you will get so much more information over there, you can't believe it. Okay, let's start on this. Why preppers fail. First off, they start for the wrong reason. Okay, they start out of fear. Now, some people will say, but fear is a good motivator. Yeah, fear is a good short-term motivator. It's not a good long-term motivator. Fear is something that kind of kicks you in the pants and gets you started. Okay, but fear is not what will sustain you in preparedness. Okay, so instead of fear, and people will improperly argue this, the proper reason to start preparedness is the feeling of responsibility, an understanding of the challenges and the threats in the world, and the understanding that you are responsible for preparing for taking care of yourself during whatever situations might come along, and those who depend on you. Okay? And then beyond that, beyond your immediate family, can you be in a position to help other people? So that's it. The ones who start out of fear, that's a flash in the pan. All of a sudden their fear goes away. All of a sudden, something new comes along or something strikes their interest, and they get onto that, and they're no longer afraid of that thing anymore. But love and responsibility, and love goes into that responsibility. When we feel responsible for your family, it's because of the love and the task that is set before you by the good Lord Himself to take care of them. That doesn't diminish. As a matter of fact, as you continue to learn more and more and more about the threats in the world, that sense of responsibility should increase. It should become greater. So that really helps you not just sustain, but even grow your desire and determination to be prepared. Okay. The second main reason, they're disorganized. They don't know where to start. Some people, we've talked about this before. Those who like guns will get all into guns, right? They'll get into a lot of guns, everything in the guns, and they're always talking about guns, and it turns out they got no food. I know I'm using improper English here, but in the vernacular, oh man, maybe I should have learned how to, grow a tomato or something. So they're kind of all over the board. They're bouncing around, and here's where fear kind of drives it. So one day there's this threat. Maybe it's the communications that shut down the other day. So now they're all into, we need to get radios, we need communications, that's the most important thing. But then something else comes along, and now, the banking system could collapse, I better buy gold and silver. And then the next thing is the collapse of the world, the government, the country, I'd better buy a bunch of guns and ammo. The next thing, they're shutting down food processing plants, and 10,000 cows were burned up in the Texas Panhandle, so I'd better stock food. See, this is when they're bouncing around like a ping pong ball. They're not settled. They're not organized. So when you approach these things in a disorganized fashion, it's impossible to keep it going in a responsible way, and in a way that shows you, a continuous success. Okay, so be organized. And I'm gonna talk about the solutions here in a minute, but right now I'm just listing off the reasons why they fail. Next comes, they become consumed with negativity and prepping. Okay, well, and you can say, well, negativity, that's bad, but prepping, that's good, right? The two come together in many people. As a result of these fears, as a result of their starting out of fear, and then they're going back and forth without any organized plan. You see, organization makes you feel as if you're in control, and you are. Disorganization makes you feel like you're out of control. And so when you are constantly under a barrage of bad news and threats and this and that, too many preppers become consumed with the negative things in life. And I've preached this for a long time, and that is positive preparedness, not negative prepping. So they become consumed with the negativity. And I see this in people that I run into. I see it I mean, you'll see it on certain channels on YouTube. And it's just constant banging this drum of negativity. This happened, that happened, it's horrible, we're over, it's this and that and everything. The world may be over. I mean, the country may be over. But that's really no excuse for negativity. In that, and that sounds funny, but it has to do with how you feel about yourself. Okay, not the country, not the world. You can't change the country or the world. What you can do is have an effect on how you are going to be dealing with it in the future, how you're preparing to stand against, the onslaught of whatever may come your way. And as they become consumed with the negativity, because it does feed something in a certain personality that a lot of people prefer negativity to positivity. Then they become consumed, and prepping it takes over their life. It just takes over their life. They are consumed with it. Is everything, every molecule of their brain is consumed with the horrible things that are coming, the fear of things that are coming, the negativity, and then how they have to prepare for it. And they get to the point that half of them can't entertain a positive thought. They can't think about the good things. You look at them, you see that they're not happy. They are angry. They feel that they're victims, which is antithetical to what a preparedness-minded person should be. So that's the third thing. They become consumed with negativity and prepping as a result of a negative cause. Does that make sense? Yeah, and you've seen them. I mean, I see them, and it's dangerous. So as you go about your prepping, I'll get to this in solutions in a minute. Make sure that you're doing it positively. Okay. Number 4, they don't shoot high enough. They become trapped at a low level, and this is why they continue. They get trapped in their negativity and a negative purpose of prepping. Okay, you may have heard the saying, it's better to aim high and miss your mark than to aim low and hit it. Well, this is the thing, that too many people involved in prepping they stop themselves at a certain point. We see this in so many of the comments that we'll see about, well, it's impossible to be totally prepared, or, well, not everybody has all the money in the world, and it's best to, I'll survive because I can live in the woods with next to nothing, and you people that have more than I do, you'll die. Well, this is an indication of a person who has very low a very low aim, right? Very low goals. And so when they hit those, when they reach those, they hold themselves down here, and then they think that's all there is. That's all there is. And anything above that is either stupid or out of their reach. Usually it's because they feel that it's out of their reach, but they won't admit that. They'll say, well, none of that really matters, and it doesn't matter, whatever. Okay, so understand that preparedness really is an ongoing process, and there is no end and there is no limit. You can continue to get better and better and better and better. I've told this story before. I have a couple of friends that after a result of, and they started as customers and became friends. After reading my books, they went out and bought farms. And they are preparing those farms kind of along the line of Stonemont. If you've read my book series, the Stonemont series. If you haven't, I'd suggest you do. It gives you so much information and a great story. I'll put the link down below, and I'll show them to you here in a little bit. But there is no end. You can continue to get better and better and better. And what that does is that keeps you, that releases you. It helps you escape from this negativity of the self-limiting of so many preppers, okay? Once you've reached that level, there's more you can do. There's more you can do. There's more you can do. You limit yourself. The only limitations out there are self-limitations. Well, but I don't have all the money in the world. Nobody has all the money in the world, so that's a stupid argument, okay? Well, but I don't have as much money as somebody else. Well, then make more money, okay? And if somebody won't do that, and I hear excuses all the time. Well, it's because you won't do it. The person who has more money is the one who went out there and worked for it and did what it took. Okay, simple as that. It's like the person who can and the person who can't can, right? And I mean as in canning, because can't can sounds kind of strange, right? Okay, well, the person who can't can their vegetables, it's because they haven't taken the time, put in the work to learn how, right? It's the same with money and everything else. So don't shoot higher. Get up there, because you will find then, by shooting higher, you will maintain your interest, okay? You will keep going because it will continue to be interesting, because you'll continue to see more challenges and possibilities. And number 5, and this comes from the negativity and depression, is they burn out. They burn out due to their negativity and depression. And I've seen this so many times, and I see it on certain channels, that the people who have been at it for a long, I've been at this for 50 years. I have never burned out. I have never become disinterested. You know why? Because it's a way of life, as it is with many, many people who truly are successful at preparedness. Again, I'm going to give a recommendation that you come over to our Patreon channel, because over there we just have a large group of people. To be real honest, we have some good people on the YouTube channel, but we have a lot of complainers too. You know, we don't have that on the Patreon channel. We have the people who have done it, who are working toward it. Maybe they haven't reached it, but they have the positive attitudes. They're working towards total self-reliance. Okay, and they have a lot of good advice for you beyond what I tell you. And so come over, and on YouTube, I'm sorry, but it's just the truth. We have a lot of people who just won't put in the work. Okay, let's talk about solutions for a minute then, okay? Enough about the whys. People fail, but those are the 5 big ones that I would say. And like I say, if I wrote a book on this, I could fill in I could write a big chapter on this. Solution number 1. Prepare with a purpose. And that kind of goes back to the first thing. What's your purpose? Your purpose should not be from fear. Your purpose is an understanding of the threats of the world and your acceptance of personal responsibility for preparing to deal with those threats and those challenges, okay? For you and anybody who depends on you. Plus, if you can go beyond that and be ready to help other people, that's it. That's the lesson of the Stonemont series. Okay, it was a story of a prepared family who, as a result of their preparedness, was not only able to continue living a high-quality life after a collapse of everything, but were, as a result of their preparedness, able to help other people. And then, as a result of that, were able to build back community. And that's so important. So prepare with a purpose, and the purpose should be to prepare yourself to live independent of all of the external interdependent systems over which you have little or no control. You know, the lights, the gas, the water, the defense, the shelter, all of these things. Medical to a great degree. Now, most people can't replace modern medicine, and by that I mean the high-tech stuff. You can't do that, but you ought to be able to take care of your basic things with, you know, natural healing and, you know, basic first aid and things like that. So prepare with a purpose. The second reason is it kind of falls in there, but it's understand why. Understand why you're preparing. You're preparing because bad things can happen, and they can happen anywhere, anytime, to anyone, and the prepared person is going to do much better than the unprepared person. Simple as that. That's the why, and you need to understand that. It's not a fear out of some abstract unknown. It's understanding that bad things happen. They've always happened. They always will happen. Now, they happen to different people, but at different times. But they can happen to anyone at any time, anywhere. That's why you're preparing. Okay. Do you keep a medical kit in your kitchen or in your house? Well, that's just the basics. You're not understanding that, hey, little Johnny can get a cut on his finger. I might need a Band-Aid. Okay. When I worked at the hospital, it was just unbelievable to me and to many, and I became friends with a lot of the ER nurses there, and you couldn't believe the reasons that so many people came into the emergency room. I mean, 90% of the people who came into the emergency room could have taken care of whatever it was easily at home, but you know what? They weren't prepared. So that's the why. You want to be able to take care of as many things as you can yourself. Number 3, have a plan. Have a plan, and that comes from having a goal. Okay, you need a goal, and then your plan is how to get there. Okay, it's like a map. Your goal is the destination. Your plan is which roads are you going to take to get there. Okay, now understand and sit down and reason this out. And I don't have to go through the whole thing you need here. Shelter, water, food, defense, group, family, whatever, all of those things. You can figure those out. But understand you need a plan. Sit down and make a plan. But writing it down helps a lot. Okay, along with some signposts, some guideposts. Okay, just like you do a map. Here's my first destination, and from there, now I take this other highway and I go over here. Just see where you are. You take a trip, and I always loved looking at maps. I've loved looking at maps since I was very young, and even today, when we're taking a trip across country, I love taking an atlas, a paper atlas. And, because I know GPS is there, but GPS can go down. We always have that, and I enjoy watching our progress across states or whatever, and say, because I'll turn to Kelly and say, where are we now? What's the next town coming up? And she'll look and she'll tell me. It looks like it's about half an hour away. So I'm like, okay, good. It's just it's a touchstone for you to see, where am I on my path. Now understand also that your plan can evolve, and it probably will, because the more that you prepare and prepare well, the greater understanding you're going to have, and you're going to make discoveries along the way that you wouldn't have made if you weren't already on the path. And you go, oh, look at here. Now I understand that maybe I need to fill in this gap, or maybe I need to increase this a little bit more before I go to that next dot. Okay. So have a plan, realize it can evolve. Do something every day. I preach this over and over. In order to make preparedness a lifestyle, do something every day. I don't care whether it's buying some more batteries while you're at the store, or whether it's buying 6 more cans of Progresso soup when you're stopping by, for the weekly groceries, or buying an extra roll of duct tape when you're down there at home. It doesn't matter what it is. Or putting $20 extra in your envelope toward emergency fund or preparedness fund or whatever it is. Do something every day, or learn something every day. Okay, every day do something. Every day. That makes it a habit. That makes it a pattern. That makes it a lifestyle. Commit, and here's what a lot of people won't do, commit money to your preparedness. However you want to do that. You might do it like once a week. You might say, okay, every Saturday, every Sunday, every Monday, whatever it is, I'm going to put $10 in my preparedness envelope. Okay, or every payday, I'm going to put 10% of my pay in there. Little advice here to people who are struggling with money, and there are always those. If you say, well, I can't afford putting 10% into preparedness. Okay? How important is your preparedness? Let me ask you that. I mean, you're watching a preparedness channel. How important is it? And, you know, when I knew a guy, I heard, I didn't know him. I mean, I'm going to have to hurry on this. So I'll leave that story for another time. But make more money. You can't afford it, go make more money. Increase your resources, and that's the last one, 6. Increase your resources. Money is a resource, okay? Property is a resource. This could be equipment, it could be supplies, it can be physical property, it can be a keeping your, making sure your vehicles are tuned up, increasing the security of where you live, buying additional property to go to if you need an alternate location. Increase your resources. So, and then in that, a great resource is your health, and that is physical, mental, and spiritual. If you are ignoring your health, you are killing yourself. Simple as that. You're killing yourself. Okay. If you're, and I don't mean this to be unkind, although some people are going to be irritated with this, that's just the way it is. If you are overweight, it's your fault. Okay? Get rid of the extra. Get rid of it. You can do it. Oh, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. Okay, other people have done it. Why can't you? You either do it or you don't. If you don't do it, if you don't take care of your health, if your physical health, you're killing yourself. Okay? And it means you're not serious about it. Okay? Your mental health also. Keep things in perspective. Don't do things out of fear. Don't do things out of anger. Don't become the angry, depressed, constantly negative prepper, because that will wreck you. It has wrecked families. It really has. This consumption. I saw it back in the police work. I mean, cops have one of the highest divorce rates in the world. You know why? Because they were so consumed with their job. They thought that what they were doing was so wonderful that, and then it takes a toll on you. And the toll is that you lose that thing which is most important, and that's your family. Okay? Don't do that. Don't do it. So stay on an equilibrium mentally, and the way to do that is keep on a spiritual equilibrium. Make sure that you are spiritually fit. Your relationship with the good Lord Himself is number one priority. Number one. Okay? And if you go to Him and you let Him direct your thoughts and your efforts, you will never be misled. Okay? So anyway, those are the main reasons why people fail that I've seen, and I've been at this, like I said, I've been at this a long time, 50 years, and I've seen a lot of people fail and a lot of people succeed, and those are my initial thoughts on that. Like I said, I could probably write a whole book on it. And speaking of books, if you haven't read my books, the Stonemont series, The Reversion, The Revival, The Renewal, and Appeal to Heaven, The Blessings of Freedom, and Hostages to Fortune, this might be the next thing that you want to do. It is a great story, and I tell people I could make videos for 100 years and never begin to cover the things I've already covered in detail in these books. You can get them a couple of different ways. You can get them on Amazon, and I'll put the link down below, and either paperback, Kindle, or Audible. They are now on Audible, so you can listen to all of the books while you're driving down the road or working in your shop or washing the dishes or whatever, and you'll love the story. You really will. It is a world that people say they prefer to the world they live in today, and I understand that, because when I write, I love being in that world. And yes, I'm working on number 7 now. The other way you can get it is through me directly, through our website, stonemont.us. That link is also down below. And if you order it through me, I get to sign them for you. And I love doing that. And because I love my relationship with my readers, just like I do my viewers. And that's where you get them, on stonemont.us, and also on stonemont.us you can get the Stonemont t-shirts and all of the mugs. There's a lot of great mugs over there, and the latest one. You know, what's another one? I got another one right here that some of you may or may not know. But this is our second highest seller. Rebellion to Tyrants is Obedience to God, American Reversion, and it has, of course, the quotation by Thomas Jefferson on it. But we have a whole series of those, guys. So get over there on the stonemont.us website, and you'll see everything you want. So keep those things in mind. Don't become a negative prepper who, as a result of the negativity, fails. Be a PMP, a preparedness-minded person. Do it properly and positively, and you'll be glad you did. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.